Hello everyone, welcome to the Miss Texas Show. This is a show that we showcase live and highlight amazing survivors of traumatic events, family violence, sex trafficking, sexual abuse, and community leaders to share the community resources. We have under this show a segment called Military Time, and this is where we invite military and veterans who would like to share with us their experiences during and after their military services. We run this segment in partnership with the National Chamber of Commerce. We would like to invite those who have overcome traumatic events and who would like to share and are now ready to help others. Under our Beautiful Ashes segment, we invite our fellow pageants who are winners as well as nominees, our artists, our models, actors, but last but not least, our ambassadors who has overcome their life challenges and now are helping people. And we would like to see the impact that they have made for our community. If you would like to be a guest on the show, you can contact us via email msusa.texas@gmail.com or on Facebook through MSUSA Texas. And this show runs every 2 weeks. And today our guest is Miss Porsha Daniel. Miss Porsha is 31 years old and she is a survivor of domestic abuse. But more importantly, now she's an advocate for other people ever since her experience in February of 2015. She has come across many women who face those tragedies. A lot of women don't get the help they need and they lose hope and lose the hope of the support and they finally give up. So she took hands on that and being a advocate ever since. So I'm going to pass the mic on to Ms. Daniels and let her tell her story and how she overcome the challenges and now have become an advocate to serve our community. Ms. Daniels, welcome to the show.
Hello.
Go ahead. You can tell us a little bit of what happened to you and what you have done to overcome those challenges.
Okay. My name is Porsha Daniels. I'm 31 years old. Back in 2015, I was stabbed 22 times by my ex-boyfriend, and my head was almost decapitated. At that time, I really didn't think that, a story like that I wouldn't even be here to even tell my story because of what actually happened to me. But by the grace of God, I am here. So throughout that time, I've been able to tell my story, and I have came across so many women who have faced these same difficulties, being abused, being verbal abuse, you know, just going through it with their significant other. So the experience for me, it's really been a tragedy. But I have also learned from it. I also know that, it's kind of pretty much of a control thing. Sometimes if we don't do the things that we are told to do or forced to do, sometimes it ends the results of, being hurt by the person who claimed they love us. So with my story, I wasn't actually with the person anymore. We had broke up like 3 months way before that even happened to me. So it was very unexpected, but it happened. I didn't plan for it, but God had other plans for me. So I just want to explain a little bit of it, of what happened to me. Sometimes people have a tendency of not letting go. So this was one of the cases. I was dating a guy, and call myself trying to be in love and stuff like that, and not really knowing the meaning of love, just saying that I'm in love. But obviously we wasn't made for each other as I thought we was, because during a relationship, it was all, I went through a lot of abuse with him, but I never thought it would lead up to what happened, what transpired between us. So that was one of the reasons why I just finally, was like, okay, I done had enough, I'm done. It, even though I had, at that time, I loved him, I was like, I can't do this anymore. I chose me, and I felt good about choosing me. So, that's something that he couldn't handle. He couldn't take. He couldn't take the fact that I didn't want to be that woman anymore. Like, I didn't want to be that girl who just let him run all over me. So, time started passing. I had to start, like, trying to disappear from him, and, pretty much on a hiding, because, all the calling and showing up at my job, my school, and all those type of places. So I had to do a lot of things, which led up to what actually ended up happening, which was all the way out of my control. Um, I didn't take it serious when he told me that if nobody could have me, if he couldn't have me, could nobody have me. I didn't take it serious when he told me that he was on his way to kill me. I just let it go in one ear and out the other, and he proved me wrong in so many ways. So doing it, I couldn't believe that it actually was happening to me at the time. As I said, I was caught off guard. I never thought that this person would do such a thing to me, because people claim that they love you, but love doesn't hurt. That's one thing I have to learn. Love doesn't hurt. But growing up, you're not knowing this. Sometimes when you don't have a father figure in your life, you're not knowing that this is not the way that you're supposed to be loved. So I was under his wing. I felt that he was the one who loved me. So I was willing to do anything to be with him, anything, for him. And that's pretty much how that went. Like I said, I had to get my strength back and be able to say, no, I don't want to take this no more. I can't do this anymore. So it led up to me being stabbed repeatedly by him, to the point where he almost cut my head off. He took my intestines out. I had to learn how to walk again. I was paralyzed. He killed the guy that I was actually dating at the time. He was also stabbed, but he was only stabbed 3 times, and I was stabbed 22 times. He left us for dead. So right there told me that he didn't love me, not at all. And he constantly repeated to call me after the fact, after he done everything he done. He still called me to see was I alive. So that right there was just sickening, because how do a person claim they love you and they do those type of things, So uh, it was a learning experience. It was a blessing, because I'm still able to be here. I'm still able to tell my story, and I know that a lot of women who go through these things, they are not here to tell a story, and they go through a little bit lesser than what I actually experienced, and they not even here. So sometimes it hurts my heart to see, women dying by the hands of someone saying that they love them. And I just got to a point where I'm like, you know what? God left me here for a reason. It must be something I need to do. So ever since that happened to me, I have been an advocate for domestic violence. I have been taking on pretty much a lot of cases on my own, helping women, sending money, sending clothes, anything I could do to help someone, getting back into their position where they feel safe again, because they scared, or they can't leave, or they don't know what else to do, or they don't have any food because he's starving them and stuff like that. So it's been a journey. It's been a journey to actually see what people go through and what women go through. I mean, and it's not just women, it's men that go through these things as well. You know, I have actually met a couple of guys who have went through domestic violence of women, you know, beating them, you know, and those are the men that don't hit women. You know, you got the men who hit women, but you got the men who don't hit women. So they allow the women to hit them. So, you know, I've been on the side of both. I hear both parties out. You know, I don't discriminate over, well, I'm just dealing with women. I deal with men as well. So, as I was saying, like, you know, coming through that and just seeing the experience, and a lot of these women have kids with these people who they're afraid to leave because of the kids. And that's one thing I can thank God on, because I didn't have any kids with the guy. But a lot of people that I come across, I can't help them. I can only help them to a certain extent, because they feel so tied in with this person because they have kids with this person. So it's like, you can't break up their family. You can only tell them, you know, hey, you know, this is what I feel. But I can only give you advice. I can't tell you what actually to do, you know, because you don't want to just come between someone's family or someone who has children with someone. So I try to give the best advice as I can with those type of dealings when it's involving kids. But when it's involving hey, he told me this, and hey, I give them, hey, I don't take anything lightly. When a person say they're going to kill you, or when a person say they're going to do this, take it serious, because they mean that. They're not saying it because they want to say it just to scare you. Sometimes they mind, you know, they snap up out of it and they can't control themselves at the time. You know, so you have to take it serious on when people say, you know, they can't live without you, or, you know, or they don't, you know, they can't see you with nobody else. You know what I'm saying? Those are the things those are red flags. You know, even with being in a relationship with someone and they tell you that they love you to death, that's a scary thought. You know, that became a scary thought to me, because if you love me to death, then it's like, I don't want you to love me to death, you know, because that scares me. That means that you will kind of do something to me, and that's just my thoughts, because what I experienced, you know, not necessarily saying it's true, but just what I experienced, that's my thoughts. You understand? So I just try to tell people, man, you know, um, right now, it's like, we say love don't hurt. We say, you know, love can get you killed, you know, a lot of things, but I don't, it shouldn't be love can get you killed, because love shouldn't be even in the same category as being killed, you know, especially, like I said, being with someone that claims they love you. So that's like no way possible that you could say, oh, well, I did this because I loved her, or I hurt her because I loved her. Like, it makes no sense, you know? So that was one of the things that I had to always deal with. Now, don't get me wrong. Even with my experience, I ended up getting into another relationship right after that. I ended up getting into another relationship where I was going down the same road again. And being controlled. And because I felt as, hey, don't nobody want me. Don't nobody want a woman who's been stabbed, or who's been in, you know, who's in a wheelchair, who doesn't, you know, hey, she already been through this. So it's like, sometimes you have guys who praise on your weakness. They prey on what you've been through, you know, and well, ain't nobody want you, and you been through this and you been through that. So sometimes you can't tell everybody what you've been through. You know what I'm
Exactly.
saying?
Mm-hmm.
You can't tell everybody what you've been through, because they use that against you. You know, they use that, and that's like one of their power tools over you. You know what I'm
Some
saying? And that
guys tend to target like vulnerable women, like, you know, in such cases, and they take advantage of that.
exactly. And like I said, I experienced that. It's like everything, my weak point, and everything to say that hurts me, and everything I say that hurts me, he'll hurt me in that spot. Like, he'll push me, or, you know, hit me in the place where I'm telling you I'm in pain. That's his way of hurting me. You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
like, say, you can't tell them your weaknesses. You know, even though you might feel like, well, this person love me, I can tell them this, but no, you can't. I had to learn that you can't. You even it don't matter. You just can't do it. Sometimes you have to take things to the grave with you. You know, you have to be strong minded and take some things with you to the grave, because you don't want to get hurt again, or you don't want to experience that hurt again. So as I said, I learned, you know, that with that, I immediately let that go. I immediately let that go. When I saw that it was going down that path, I was like, you know what? I'm not doing it. I'm not going this route again. You know, so that person never got a chance to hurt me. But if I would have stayed, I know that I would have got hurt, you know? So I'm glad that I did get out that relationship and let that go.
I'm
So
proud of you for recognizing the red flags. Yes, there are certain patterns, like you say. You know, earlier we talked about they tend to approach vulnerable women, and these guys seem to have similarities in a lot of areas. And once you recognize that, you know, take off and go. And I'm so proud of you for recognizing the red flags and take off and leave. And you know, most importantly, like you said, no matter what, a man should never put a hand in a woman on a woman, and love
exactly.
should definitely not hurt. So that's a red flag itself over there. And I think it's really important that to show the people about the red flags. And so glad that you walked out of the next relationship. And you talked about the kids. About the people that cannot leave because of kids, and the statistics shows that it takes an average person 7 times to leave. Most of them are in these kind of situation, and I
Right.
so it's really hard. And people say, like, you know, it's very easy for us to say we don't have children with that person, say yeah, just take off and leave, but it's complicated. just recently
Exactly.
just recently, I was, you know, at one of the webinars and talking about the kidnapping laws interstate. Because some people say, okay, I'm gonna, you know, take off and leave, and I'm gonna take our child and leave and move to another state. And I'm not a lawyer, and I cannot give legal advice, but I strongly suggest that if you do choose to leave, make sure that you make the safety plan first. And secondly, talk to the attorney to make sure to see what your rights are, what your responsibilities are, because I do know that some victims in some states do end up getting charged for kidnapping, even though that's their own kids. Who would know? So, you know, you don't want to turn from a victim to a criminal, and then your kid will be in danger because, you know, who is going to take the custody of the child. So there are
Right.
a lot of things that you need to put into consideration. But I really, you know, give you applause for what you are doing and how strong you are. I remember first time we met, I heard the story. I was like, my stomach was literally just turning, listening to the story, and look at you, how strong you are. And oh my God, you know, you said, I don't know. I really just, I think God has a purpose for you. That's all I can say. Because I mean, honestly, just like you say, people who has gone through that, who could see you're beautiful. You know, I've seen you in person, and you have your picture, and our guests will show. But for the audience that has not met Miss Daniels, we've met in person. She's healthy, and if you don't know anything about her and she doesn't tell you about it, you would not know that she has gone through that. But today she used that to help other women, and that is so powerful. Thank you so much for sharing the story. So you
No
know,
problem. You.
yeah, I would like to ask you your opinion. Say, you know, you share about the red flags and share with the people about what they should do when it comes to leaving. So for the just the general audience who hasn't experienced that, and hopefully they will never. And this is what we're here for. This is a platform for our advocates and survivors to share the story so people can be aware. So what do you think an everyday citizen can do so that they can either prevent this from happening from them to themselves or to the people that they love?
Um, okay, so you said these are some of the red flags, right? Like some of the
Yes.
red flags. Okay. Most of the red is the number one, the control. The control. You know, you have guys who, you know, when they tell you, hey, you can't wear that, or don't put this on, or don't do that, and that right there is that's a red flag, a big one. You know, a lot of guys, you know, they have a lot of that control comes from, you know, sometimes I would say, you know, the way they grew up, not having the father figure, you know, and stuff like that. Mostly speaking from my experience, you know, a lot of guys that that suffer from that, that's what it was, not having that father figure. So a lot of those red flags was more of controlling, because they want that love. You know, they want that love, but don't know how to uh accept it, you know, like, so the part of trying to be reciprocated, that's like the boundary that they, oh, okay, well, she love me, so I can kind of string her and tell her what to do. But see, they doing it in the wrong way. When we love you, we loving you, we telling you we love you, because we loving your heart. You know, we loving your heart, we loving who you are. We're not giving you permission to control who we are. We know we just loving who you are at that, you know, we loving your inner self. So I think that they get those two confused on, you know, when you tell them that you love them, and they take that and run with it instead of taking it for what it is. It's actually love, you know. So that, like I said, it's more of an acceptance. They don't know how to accept that. When a woman loves them, you know, like I said, they take that, okay, well, she loved me, so okay, so I know how to string her along, you know. So a lot of those things come from control. You know, that's the first thing. And then once it's controlled, it's the verbal abuse. You know, once you start allowing the verbal abuse, you know, the one time the hitting, you know, and then, you know, oh my God, I didn't mean to do it, I'm sorry, it'll never happen again. 9 times out of 10, it always end up happening again, you know. So that's one thing that's always going to be a major flag, because, you know, nobody should get that angry. You know, you shouldn't get that angry with a person, with your significant other, you know. And like I said, that's one thing that, you know, from my experience, I had to work on that too, because by me going through the experience that I went through, it kind of like got me to a point where, like, hey, I went through it so much that I do it. You know, I do it, like, you know, I'm yelling and, you know, screaming and things like that, and that's not right, you know. But, you know, and that's because of what I've been through. So it's kind of like I'm traumatized by it. You know, I'm traumatized by it. So it's like I said, it's one thing because it's a mental thing, you know, especially if you don't have any help. If you don't get any mental help and, you know, things like that, man, it's something that'll mess with your psyche, you know, if you don't get the help that you actually need, especially going through the experience. So that's one of the things that, like I said, I can't judge nobody because I know how it has traumatized me. You know, I just try to remain strong and keep moving forward. I try to keep moving forward and don't try to live in my past. I try to move forward, but I also learn every day. But you know, that what happened to me has messed me up mentally. You know what I'm saying? But I'm trying to get better. You know, uh, I have my flaws, and when I'm doing things wrong that I know I'm not supposed to do because of what I've been through, because I haven't had the sources to be able to speak it out, you know, my anger level. You get what I'm saying? My anger level. So like I said, I'm working through that. I'm actually engaged now. So that's another
Oh,
thing.
congratulations.
Yes, I'm actually engaged now. I get married next month. So, you know, like I said, it's a process. My fiance, you know, he makes me happy, and, you know, like I said, he sees that, like, okay, well, she's been through a lot, you know, but he patient with me, you know. He loves me. I can honestly say he loves me. uh the most thing, he's patient with me, like, and that right there what makes it everything, because it's like, you know, I know that I know with my experience, I can be a handful, not just using that as my excuse, but what, sometimes, just like I said, it's my thought process, my mental.
Can be
So,
a trigger, anything like something happened your fiance might not have done, but because of, let's say, an environment, a sound, a scenery, whatever visual that could cause a trigger that. So it takes a really good man to be understanding.
exactly.
I'm so happy for you, and I can't wait to see your wedding photos. We're gonna
Yes.
we're gonna ask you for the wedding photos. Hopefully we can share at least a picture of the both of you, so that we can share with our audiences. I think like what you said, to tell all those women, they give up hope because they think there's no help out there. So I want to let you guys know that if you think that you're in immediate danger, then I would suggest that you call 911 or call the National Domestic Violence hotline, which is 1-800-799-SAFE. Once again, it's 1-800-799-SAFE. We will be including the information at the content section below, but also the hope. And you talk about people has no hope. They were like, you mentioned that earlier. You said nobody's gonna love you anymore. Who's gonna love you because you were stabbed? And this is a lot of women who gone through. But you know that God loves you, and you are beautiful. You're beautiful inside and out, and all the work that you are doing. And so there is a man, like I'm from China, and we say like there's always someone there out for you, right? So it just
Right.
takes time to find the right person. So there is someone out there for you, and there is hope. And then for like different nonprofit organization, I know that Miss Daniels is located in Houston, Texas. So in Houston, Texas, like one of the nonprofit organizations that they are for the domestic violence awareness month, they are donating for our survivors those purple masks like these ones and these ones. And I wanted to thank Hope PYX Global for that. And due to the COVID, we're not doing the personal contact. So if you are interested in that, make sure that you contact us on the information that I have mentioned earlier. It will be also in the content section below. So if you're a victim or a survivor and you would need a mask, and we're honoring the month of domestic violence awareness month, but we also going to share another information that I think Miss Daniels and I met through another event was done by Miss Monica Williams. And that's
Mm.
how we met. We were both speaking at the event. So there are a lot of great local nonprofit organizations and individuals, advocates, including Miss Daniels and myself, that are out there for you. So just make sure that you reach out. You have our information here. We'll be linking our information here as well if there's anything that we can help. But once again, remember, if you feel like you're in immediate danger, make sure you call the hotline or call 911. And once again, thank you so much, Ms. Daniels, for coming
No problem.
and sharing this I really think it's a tragic story. And but everything happened for a reason. I'm so proud of what has happened and how strong you have come. And most importantly, I am so happy that you're, getting engaged and getting married. Like I said, make sure that you send us the pictures of the you two together so that I can share with our audience about you. And when
Okay.
you get married, and two, that we would like to have the follow up. But so this is the Miss Texas show. If you like it, make sure that you give a thumb up. And this is very important message, like we call it. This is a hidden pandemic. It's not like the COVID-19 that you see people are catching the virus and having symptoms, but this is a growing pandemic, unfortunately, and everyone need to pay attention to this. And just like Ms. Daniel says, it's not just women, it can be men as well. And this is regardless of nationality, race, age, anything. So it can happen to anybody, and it's happening in our backyard. And we strongly urge you to subscribe so that you can see upcoming episodes of our survivors and advocates and sharing their stories and resources. Help us share so that people that, including yourself and the ones that you love, can know the information. You never know what's going to happen, and help us make this world a better place. And thank you again, Ms. Daniels, for your time. And thank you everyone for tuning in, and we'll see you next time.
Okay, thank you.